This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstye Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 7, Episode 13, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington across social media. And I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington sports and life as part of the mighty Hogstye Network on audio and YouTube on video. All right, Matt, I had a feeling you wanted to talk about this one today. Washington lost to Philadelphia. Last week they said 22-0. You ever seen such a bad first half? And basically, hold my beer. It's 24-0. Could have been worse. So I'll let you go ahead and rant first.
I have nothing to say. It's embarrassing.
Right. Okay.
I hate this. I hate, like it's a podcast and I know I have to speak, but yeah, no, it's just utterly embarrassing. It is. It's embarrassing that they're going max blitz on the first play of the game and you can't protect your quarterback. It's embarrassing that your offensive coordinator can't see that your quarterback is out there getting killed and has no time to throw, but won't go to a 3 or a 5 step drop and do a quick out. Instead, he insists on doing 7-step drops. It's embarrassing that your defense is out there getting worked because they're tired. They're beat up and tired. They had a guy named Wild Goose playing. He was a dead duck from the beginning. You know?
That name just lends itself for things. He had like one career snap, I think. And they targeted him the very first play and got a pass interference against them. And then he came back very soon after, did it again.
Yep.
So, all right. So I was at the stadium. I'd say it was about 60% Eagles fans.
Yeah.
Which is not as much as recent years. I mean, a few years ago, I'd say it was 90%. This one was about 60, and then in the second half, a bunch of people left at halftime. I went out and saw by a gate. I saw dozens of people leaving just my gate at halftime.
Yeah, the Philly fans were waving them out of their own stadium.
Yeah, I know. That's what bugs me more about it than anything. And they had their own security guy hold the rail when Jalen Hurts came off the field at the end, just to make sure, hey, buddy, we got new duct tape. We're good. Don't you worry about him. There was some fighting in the stands as normal. I saw one tweet from the paramedics that said 2 people were taken to the hospital, some fight.
Yeah, apparently there was a brawl, like a 10-person brawl.
So, I mean, it's the normal kind of thing on there.
So let me ask you this. Since they had a security guy hold the railing, are we going to send one up to Philly to hold the railing for our guys like we did with the benches in Dallas? We got to play tit for tat with all of our division rivals that sit there and make fun of us and just, flat out disrespect us to our face because they can, because we're a laughing stock. Look, Rick, the name pissed off a lot of people. You had to come out and look strong, and you've come out and basically looked okay against the Jaguars team. You look like crap against the Lions of all teams. And now your division foe, your division rival, the team that's picked to probably win the division and go far into playoffs just came into your stadium and smacked you around. It's I don't know what else to say. I mean, this falls on everybody from the top down. This is the inability to go out and sign a damn linebacker. You are relying on Jamin Davis, who I'm sorry, sucks. He is not good at the position that they're trying to play him in. Cole Holcomb is not London Fletcher. Yes, he has a lot of tackles, but that's not good because it means they're breaking the first line of defense. You've got your number 1 first-round pick after first-round pick on the line. They can't do anything. They get no pressure. Right. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
All right, so we cut it to the chase. I wrote a column today for 106.7 The Fan where I said, you know what? Rivera was the right guy to hire, and it's now time for him to go. Mm-hmm. Both things can be true. And year 3, I see a regression. I don't see it building. I keep hearing we're playing young players. It's going to take time. Dude, there's a first half of the season counts too. because the last 2 years they played better in the second half of the season, but you're already doomed by then. So you got to come out. I really think Rivera should be replaced after this season. And here's why, because you're still thinking about quarterback 2. Here's how you have to, but here's the problem. You don't know what ownership's going to be like. And this reminds me a lot of what Norv Turner went through in the late 90s. Cook dies. The estate takes 3 years basically to sell the team, or 2 years. And, Norv sat in limbo during that time. So it could be the same thing with Ron in a way. He's got 2 years left of a contract. What happens with Dan? There was a report that came out. Is Snyder going to be ousted by fellow NFL owners? That's called a trial balloon, where they're trying to figure out where everything is and maybe bluff Snyder into selling, which he's not going to. This is all going to end up in court. But the way you fix this franchise is new owner, who then hires a GM, who then hires the coach, who then picks the quarterback. If you do it in any other order, it doesn't work. And they've tried it in other orders. It doesn't work. It would be nice if you picked a GM, team president, who's actually not an idiot, like the past ones they've had. I mean, he's had Vinny Serrato, who knew a little bit about football, but wouldn't say no to any stupid idea Snyder had. And then Bruce Allen, who I don't know what kind of football he knows, but that was a disaster. So he's never had a good GM. And now you got Martin Mayhew, but he basically does what Ron wants. So
the problem. That's the problem. Let's cut to the chase. Casterly, as nice of a guy as he is, I know he's a fan favorite on the Junkies and everything. The fact of the matter is, he was taught by Bobby Beathard. So they thought, oh, well, hey, you got the tutelage from Bobby Beathard. Well, we surely saw who made those teams great, and it wasn't Charlie Casterly. It was Joe Gibbs. Then you bring in, Bruce Allen with Mike Shanahan. Bruce Allen doesn't even know that a football is an oval. He probably thinks it's a square. He's an idiot. He's always had yes men. And look, I like Martin Mayhew. I'm sure he's a good dude personally, but he should have a little bit of respect on his name because he played for this team. But at the end of the day, he's friends with Ron. And it's the same thing with Marty Herney. He was a newspaper guy that's friendly with Ron because he got a job in Carolina. Let's be honest, dude. I mean, you're picking yes men. You're picking guys that are just going to go out and do what you want. It amazes me the amount of talent that was there to pick, and they got none of it. They picked another defensive lineman.
Had some, but different.
I'm not saying in the draft. The drafts have been decent. I'll give Ron that. His drafts have been decent, but as far as picking free agents and as far as you gave up on Eric Flowers for Norwell. Norwell might as well be named Turnstile. That dude can't protect Carson Wentz. Carson's going to have to go back there with a baby strapped to his chest to get Norwell to protect him. I mean, it's insane. Rick, the thing is, I wouldn't be this angry if it was year 1, year 2. But at the end of the day, this is year 3. You're supposed to start seeing a progression. You are not seeing progression. They are flat to regressed. And let's not forget the first year that Ron was here. Yeah, he won the NFC East, but what did he win it with? What, 7-9? And yeah, you had a puncher's chance against the Buccaneers. Whoop-de-doo. You didn't expend on that. You regressed. You regressed in year 2. And in year 3, yeah, you got another starting quarterback. Okay. You gave him $28 million. Carson's not really the problem. He's played well in 2 out of the 3 games. Yesterday, he didn't have no time to throw. I can't expect him to do anything there. But at the end of the day, they've made no improvements on this team. It's the same cast of characters. You let Ronald Darby go to Denver because you didn't want to pay him, and then you damn give William Jackson more money, and he comes here and can't cover my grandma. What are we doing? Because you're playing people out of position. You're not playing people in the position that made them good players. You're not playing them in the scheme that made them good players. It just doesn't make sense to me.
So I think Rivera may survive, but I don't know how Del Rio could. Well,
there has to be a fall guy, and Del Rio is going to be the fall guy. And sure, there's going to be somebody that comes in here and takes over in the interim, and the guys are going to be excited because he's secretly one of their BFFs that they talk to in the locker room, and they're rooting for this guy. And then at the end of the year, he's going to get fired, or he's going to regress back to his old position, and they're going to go out and they're going to get another name at defensive coordinator that doesn't know how to do anything.
Right, because here's the problem. Defensive coordinators know what's up. They don't want to come to a team where a guy's on his last year, because then they'll be gone in 1 year too if the staff doesn't survive. Mm-hmm. So you don't get anybody top level has choices. Now you'll get people who always take the job because there's only 32 of them. But, I don't see that. And then Turner's, I thought Turner's game plan was horrible yesterday. Basically, you had to say, you're not going to have any time to throw the ball. So all quick outs. That's what you got to work with. Just dink and dunk down the field. Because if you hold the ball, because that's one problem with Carson is he holds the ball too long, and he probably caused 3 or 4 of those sacks right there alone. Well, okay, if that's how it's going to work, then you got to get rid of the ball quickly. And
it also doesn't help that Fletcher Cox is in your lap as soon as the damn ball reaches your hand. I blame everybody. I blame everybody equally. And I'll be honest with you too. Screw Adam Schefter too, and Kyle Shanahan, who I know planted that with Schefter about talking about how the Commanders wanted Garoppolo. Yeah, you think that might have been in Wentz's head a little bit going into that game as it broke 20 minutes before the game started? This team can never get out of its own way. And I'm sorry, there's no freaking leaks that come out of any other football stadium or football team facility like it does out there in Ashburn. That thing out there needs to be and I know they got a new sponsor. That thing needs to be sponsored by TMZ. As much crap comes out of that place.
When I take people to the Natural History Museum, and you go to the back, it's all the bug parts, and it says sponsored by Orkin. And Orkin's the one that kills them all.
Exactly.
So, I saw they had a new sponsor. I don't care. I don't have to use their name, so I won't. If they want to pay for the show, they can. But anyway, I think the play calling's been really disappointing. Both coordinators have let Ron down, no doubt. And I really wish Ron could have been like a team president or something, but I don't see that happening either. Not Jason Wright's job with this one. So on football, it is one big mess. I don't know how they're going to pull it out on here, but they play against Dallas. We'll be back on Thursday to talk about the Dallas preview. I mean, Philly to me looks like I thought they'd be the division winner because they had a good offseason. They picked up some talent. They showed how you can rebuild. So when Ron tells me year 3, we have to be patient, I see other places don't have to be patient. That's just an excuse. That's all it is. Nobody's buying it anymore. And I can't wait to see the next home game against Tennessee. There's going to be 25,000 there or something. They had 2 good crowds, although Eagles were a lot of one of them. Fans were willing to give this new reboot a chance. And they just quickly saw it's the same old. So kind of disappointing on that.
I'll say this. It's too bad I don't look good in purple because that team up there knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, they've always been a good franchise for that. All right, and with that, we got to head off to Thursday's podcast. So I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we'll be back Thursday. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent on the Hogstye Network.